I would say instead of thinking about how many houses you want to sell, think about what behaviors get you there. Think about what impact gets you there. And that's ultimately what is going to get you through that impossible idea to swallow. Because from going from where we had zero logo to where we are today is a really, really big thought to try to hang on to. But if you just put one foot in front of the other and say, how do I help entrepreneurs win? How do I make it a little bit easier? How do I give them a little more motivation? That is what helps you achieve that big vision. Good morning. Welcome to another Motivational Monday. My name is Matthew Hodge, Executive Vice President here at LPT Realty. I'm joining you from LPT headquarters here in Lake Mary, Florida, where the weather is absolutely perfect today. I'm going to bring in Robert Palmer, founder and CEO, who is joining us from Yellowstone Club in Montana. Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Different kind of perfect weather out here, my friend, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good here today, man. It's like I think the highs are in the mid 70s. I still have a sweater on because my Caribbean blood doesn't like anything like under 80. But it seems to be just a little colder there where you are.
Yeah, we yesterday I think it was like 11, and like 11 is like starting to get uncomfortable, but it's all good.
Yeah, yeah.
We drove the car instead of taking the gondola over to the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
think I would like literally freeze like the moment I step outside. Well, good man. It's great to be with you this morning. I hope that you guys had a great Christmas. We are at the final motivational Monday of the year. Can you
can
believe
you can
that?
you believe? Yeah, I mean, really, like what? Like where did this year go?
I
How have we been at this game now for almost 4 years? I mean, it's just absolutely amazing to me how time has flown. I guess when you're doing what you love, it moves fast, and especially in such a tough market. I mean, but yeah, last Motivation Monday of 2025. Hard to believe, but hey, guess what? We got lots of more years for lots of more Motivation Mondays.
That's right. That is right. And so, I know we're going to talk about 2025 and maybe think about what we should pull forward into 2026. But, we talked about this a lot on Real Estate First Friday. We had Suneet come on there and talk about an accountability kind of webinar, I guess you could say, that talked about the things that we were going to do differently in 2026. And so I kind of want to start with maybe thinking about some of the successes that we had in 2025. And not everything goes to plan, right? Like you're never going to hit every single goal every single year. If you do, you're probably not stretching yourself quite far enough. But let's talk about some of the things that went well for 2025. So what is that for you in this year?
Yeah, look, I mean, we continue to expand and grow. We saw a lot of growth in new states. Really excited to submit real trends this year. So that'll be when people can finally see kind of our transaction counts and our agent counts when we submit for real trends here, which will be published in the next month or so. Really proud of the growth, continued growth in our core market, kind of the home state of Florida. A lot of growth in our expansion markets. As we talked about, a lot of big teams coming over, a lot of agents just continuing to crush it. I love seeing that agent productivity number just continue to go up as people are winning with our tools. Again, individual definition of success. Like we're not here to push anybody to do more, but it is nice when the tools work and you pick up those extra couple deals a year, especially in such a tough market. So, I think the back-to-back wins on the Training Magazine Award, something really proud of, and excited to see where we ranked. We know we're the highest ranked residential real estate brokerage, which was the goal, which I didn't think we would hit this fast because we're the only residential real estate brokerage that was recognized. So we are the highest ranked. We'll see where we ranked. I think they do that in February. So excited about that. But Training Magazine recognizing us 2 years in a row and just, crushing all the other brokerages because we really are an industry where training is so critical. And it's surprising to see more brokerages not putting out a level of training that's quality enough to win an award like what we're getting from Training Magazine. So really proud of that, obviously. The back-to-back recognition from Inman, the multiple nominations this year across LPT Aperture Holdings for most innovative video, just so much great stuff. Most innovative company, all those finalists from Inman were fantastic. We just continue to rack it up and win, man. And I think it's interesting because, when we came on the scene, a lot of people didn't take us seriously. We were a fad. It was, temporary, whatever. And look, there's been other kind of brokerages that popped up that do meet that definition. They stall out out in the, couple thousand agent range. They can't hit critical scale. They don't have a way to provide actual benefit to the agents and tools. And look, and I get it. Our stack is not for everybody. For agents who want to put in the work and want to go out there and get face to face and embrace print and embrace Motivation Mondays. I'm really proud of what we've built. I get that doesn't match for everybody, and we're not here for everybody. We're here for the folks that want to join this amazing community and build something fantastic together. The ongoing trips to New York and everything we've been able to put together there. I feel like 2025, the only way 2025 could have gone any better would have been if we'd had a little bit of a help from the market. That's the one thing we didn't get. 4 million home sales again. While some people last year were calling for, 4.7, 4.8, I was much more bearish. I thought maybe 4.2, 4.3, but we didn't even get that. We spent another year dragging the bottom, 30-year low annual existing home sales in that 4 million range. I think we're in a great position to get off of that floor. We put in a lot of work preparing for the boom. Boomsday is coming. I remain super focused and motivated and believe that's our trajectory. The inflation numbers, I think, are coming in where we need them. The Fed getting out of the way, as we've talked about a lot, in the Fed cutting rates as they have, even though there was no immediate impact on mortgage rates, the Fed getting out of the way was critical to set up next year for the boom. And we're seeing inventory increase in a lot of markets. The fact that home price appreciation has stalled or even come down a little bit in some markets will actually help with where we're trying to go. So from my standpoint, everything's lining up nicely. We got a solid 4 years to build on the bottom, to build at the absolute worst market that we've seen in our lifetimes from a transaction count standpoint. And everybody better watch out. I mean, if LPT was able to have the success we've had, be profitable, continue to grow at meteoric levels in such a terrible market, watch out when things start to go our way. So I'm excited for 2026, man. And I know all of our agents are excited as well.
It's interesting to think about, all the success that we've had in such a terrible market. And we know not everybody has maybe felt that success, And so what's the advice kind of thinking if you didn't land where you wanted to in 2025, knowing that we are probably going to see a different market in 2026, what would you say for that person who maybe wants to try to catch back up or have a better year than they did in 2025?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, I think the delayed result, the delayed gratification that we see in the industry, we talk about this a lot. Like, I don't think that's the measuring stick, right? We talked about this in the last couple of Motivation Mondays. How many people did you add to your iPhone contacts, right? How many people did you go out and meet? How many open houses did you hold where you got visibility in neighborhoods? How many times have you door knocked your own neighborhood? The most important place to ever start farming is where you live yourself. If you can check off those activities, I'm less concerned about the result. And I know the result is needed, right? Like, we got bills to pay, we need to earn money. It's why we do this. But I think really what I would judge myself by in a tough market like this is the seeds you planted, the activity you put in, the things you controlled, because all of that will turn into transactions in the future. Every person who didn't do business in 2025 because of the high interest rates, because of the home prices, because of uncertainty, because of their own self-limiting beliefs about where home prices are going or where interest rates are going in the future, every single person who made a decision to delay that still has to do something, right? That's the interesting thing about housing. Like, it's a requirement, right? Like, we all need it. And the more uncomfortable it is, the further away from it is from our jobs if we're having to return to work, the further away it is from our kids' schools if they're going to a new school, the further away or from the right size if we've had kids and now we don't have enough bedrooms, or kids have left the house and we have too many bedrooms. There's all of these factors that push housing decisions. And so people can only delay for so long. And so what I see as I look at the last 4 years is just delayed, 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 right? These people aren't gone. Housing decisions aren't erased. They're not deleted. They're just delayed. And so if you did the work, if you made the contacts, if you continue to stay in touch with your people, with your sphere, being active in your community, showing value to folks that are in your database, you have set yourself up for success. And so I would take a hard look and say, all right, did I have the year financially I wanted? A lot of our agents say yes. If you say no, then I want you to look deeper and say, all right, did I do the right things? Do I feel like I had a successful year in keeping up with my database, my sphere, keeping up with my people, getting out in my community? Did I do that? And if you can say yes to that, then just understand that while the financial benefit didn't come this year, it will come in the future. Now, if you got to say no to both of those and you say, all right, I didn't really do what I needed to do this year, I didn't have a great year financially, and I didn't feel like I planted those seeds. That's okay. It's not too late. We've got time. We're going to get re-engaged, but make a commitment to yourself. Make a New Year's resolution, right? That you're going to do those activities. You're going to get out there. You're going to call all of your friends and family, right? And you're going to reach out and make sure they remember that you're in real estate. You're going to offer to add value, all of your sphere, all of your people. You're going to get out in your communities in your neighborhood. You're going to participate in those neighborhood garage sales or chili cook-offs and hold the open houses. And you're going to commit to yourself that you're going to continue to do those activities even when there is no immediate result. And that's what I want your New Year's resolution to be if you find yourself in that third bucket. You have to commit to doing the work, even though you're not going to see the results for a period of time. The folks who did the work the last 6 months, they're going to see the results sooner, right? They've already planted those seeds. They've already started those conversations because this is a long life cycle. People do not just wake up one day and say, all right, I'm going to go buy a house today. And so you've got to be in front of them earlier. You've got to be in front of them early in that decision-making process. You've got to help guide them to the decision of when the time is right to buy or sell, so you can then be that trusted expert when the time comes. And so make that your New Year's resolution. You're going to do the work. You're going to stay in touch with your folks. You're going to get out there in your community, and you're going to recognize the fact that you're not going to see any results for 3 to 6 months, but you're going to continue to do the hard work. And that's the only thing I would recommend to change your trajectory for 2026 if you didn't do those things in 2025.
Great advice. And I love it at each time this year because it gives you some motivation. Like, even though, from December 31st to January 1st is just another day change. Like, for some reason, that changing year, there's this motivation that you've got to try to sweep away some of the things that didn't serve you and maybe double down on the things that did. And so use that motivation, like Robert said, to maybe really analyze those things and to set yourself up for success. Because we know it's not going to happen day number one, but it will be day number one in step in the right direction. So with that being said, Robert, we've got some videos to kind of talk about, to recap last year. I'll do kind of whichever order you'd like there. I know we've got a few on deck, so I'll let you call for them.
So one, we've got our year-end recap video. I saw some folks calling for that in the chat. I see my daughter in the chat telling me I'm excited and talking too fast this morning. She's downstairs listening to me in real time. I guess mom has her laptop on down there too. So I'm going to slow down for you, baby. Thank you for that. Let's start with this is not a new video. Let's start with the Fall Con recap. I think that Fall Con really was an amazing moment for us. The dedication to education, a big part of, I think, why we've gotten on Training Magazine's radar as the #1 real estate brokerage, residential real estate brokerage when it comes to training. So I want to recap and play that Fall Con video again, one we've already seen. And then we do have our year-end wrap-up video. You guys are getting the sneak preview. We're going to do that afterwards. We'll come back to us first, though, but let's run that Fall Con video.
They say all real estate conferences are the same. Pools that glow, lobby bars that never sleep, badges and booths in endless rows. You fly in, learn a little, fly out, and Monday looks the same. But this one, before the doors even opened, the room felt different.
Just to see the approach walking down that hallway, as soon as I turned the corner and saw the great big Fall Con, I knew that it was going to be absolutely amazing.
Closer, truer, built for candor and tools.
It's not just a convention where you're coming to get that free swag. You're actually coming and learning and leaving with certifications. I'm already blown away.
They crushed it. The hall's been busy the whole time. The vendors are thrilled. All around, it's just a huge win.
I've travelled all the way here from London to Orlando, Florida to be part of this massive convention, Fall Con 2025.
And then it happened. Rows shifted into circles. Not louder, clearer. Not talk, tools. Templates were traded for playbooks, and playbooks were turned into plans.
It is unbelievable, the amount of training that we're getting in just a condensed period of time. I'm excited.
Leadership didn't just wave from a stage. No, he stayed in the room.
He stood up there for 11 hours yesterday and he didn't stop. He just continued to give content, There's no script, he's not reading.
And with Robert writing all of these certifications and giving us the how, we have the best playbook to go back and blow up our business that I've ever seen.
I think anyone who doesn't come to something like this is absolutely insane.
Direction over noise. Conviction over intention. Some called it spiritual. Maybe it was.
It's amazing. It's been beautiful, beautiful experience.
It was so refreshing to fall in love with real estate again.
What was shared here was clear, teachable, repeatable. We arrived as screen names and avatars. We left as family and friends. They say all conferences are the same. Let them say it. We know what happened here.
So that was our amazing FallCon video, and that video is in Connect. It's on main stage. You can download it. You can share it yourself. Watch it for motivation if you feel like you need it. It really was great to get everybody together. And again, I think we changed the face of what cloud brokerage conferences look like. You know, we didn't put the focus on the partying. We didn't host an intergalactic kegger, as I like to say, leading up to it. We did something different. And the fact that, you know, we had a room full of folks dialed in learning at like 8 o'clock on a Friday night in Orlando, I don't think has ever been done before. And so that was really fantastic, really proud of it. I think it's one of the kind of my proudest moments of what we did in 2025. And then hearing so much feedback from folks about the impact that couple of days had on their business and their lives was absolutely amazing. And so one of my highlights of 2025. So for those of you who've been with us, you know, we have another tradition. Our good friend Larry Bird does an annual New Year's Eve video that we're going to officially release on New Year's Eve. So you're going to get a preview of it today. It's not quite done. There's a couple little things we're still polishing up, a couple things that are going to hit the editing room floor before it gets released officially on New Year's Eve. And so on New Year's Eve, you'll be able to log into Connect and download the video you're about to see. But you guys are getting the world sneak peek preview of it here today on Motivation Monday. So let's roll that, Davey.
Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Pretty cold, isn't it? Yeah, it gets like this right around now. You say me and you take a little walk. What is it now? My fourth time talking to you guys like this? We are in year 4. Has it really been that long? You know, if you look back on it, it kind of feels like seasons. Think about it. 2022, it was our springtime. LPT Realty was brand new, born into a horrible housing market. Fresh, a little muddy, lots of unknowns, but that seed sprouted, and we hit the ground running. Feels like yesterday. Then came 2023. Summer, we started heating up. We were in full bloom all over the country. Summer was fast, loud, packed from edge to edge, like every other day was a fireworks show. That's when the industry was forced to recognize that we were a phenomenon that they were gonna have to deal with. But the market didn't change, still crappy. But our growth defied the market. Oh yeah, we definitely got hot. Then autumn came in 2024. Though the market stayed down, the fruits of our labor were ripe for harvest, and we were reaping all kinds of rewards. And I think we can all agree there was a thankful spirit there in 2024, on a macro level. So that brings us to now. Did I mention it's cold? And it's kinda dark, but you know what they say. It's always darkest before the dawn, or the boom, as some might call it. You know, the boss is convinced that Boomsday is coming. And you know what? After everything we've walked through together, I tend to believe him. You ever notice that part of winter when it still bites, but something about the air feels different? You can't quite explain it, but you know you're closer to the turn than you are to the start of the storm. For 3 years, you've been doing the hard work in the cold, planting seeds when the ground felt like concrete, learning the industry when every headline says this was the worst time to be in it, tending to your business like it was a winter garden, while everyone else was just trying to hunker down and stay alive. So let me ask you something. What happens when the air finally starts to soften? All that stuff you built while everyone else was on ice finally gets a chance to pay you back big. Because I'll tell you what I see. I see a group of agents that didn't waste the winter. I see teams who chose to grow when it would have been real easy to run and hide. I see a brokerage that is dangerously well positioned for the moment this market shifts into something new. And when, not if, but when that market turns, the ones who learned how to win in the hardest conditions will be the ones who explode into success. And that's you. That's every single one of you. You just walked through something that will make every easier season after this feel different. You earned the right to be excited about what's coming next. So as we close out 2025, in familiar fashion, I want to say, here's to you, my LPT Realty family. Here's to the hard work you did when nobody was cheering, to walking through winter and coming out the other side stronger. And here's to that boom that's coming in 26. And as always, you need marketing, tough guy. Hey, what the hell are you looking at?
World premiere there. We got a couple little things we're going to clean up and get that out officially on New Year's Eve. So keep an eye out on Connect for that. We're going to have our annual tradition of flooding social media with the Larry K. Bird year-end wrap-up video on New Year's Eve. Love the message this year. It is amazing. You know, one of the things we've talked about, you know, Matt, is when we first like envisioned this, you know, we spent a lot of time together in the kind of years leading up to when we actually launched LPT, figuring out how to really make this perfect and get it right. And the interesting thing is when you launch, you don't have any history, right? You don't have any successes. You have ideas, you have commitments, you have faith, you have a belief in where it's going to go and what it's going to do. But you know, you don't have that. You don't have 4 years of history of having an amazing video. You don't have, you know, 4 years of video footage from amazing agents who, you know, came and joined us across the way. And so you just got to kind of put it together. And it's amazing now to look back and to see how robust our library of wins and successes and interactions has become, and what we've been able to build here. And, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, like, hey, Robert, like Deloitte Fast 500 #2, right? Like, which again, for me is #2 right below the FallCon, like FallCon and Training Magazine, like helping our agents be more successful. That is the North Star. You know, being recognized by Deloitte as the second fastest growing company in the US across all industries with technology is pretty amazing. And so people are like, oh, did you think you would do that? And on that side, I actually did. Like, I did believe we would grow fast. Like, you know, as you know, I self-funded the company. Like, I believed that much, you know, to basically take my family's assets and use it to launch this thing and not go out and raise capital and not go take outside investor money, because I believed in what we were building. I believed in my commitment to the agents, and me being at the helm and having that control was what was going to be best for all of us. And so I did believe that we would build something amazing and we would grow fast. What I didn't understand, or what I really underestimated, was the power of this community that we were going to build. The relationships, you know, the friendships, the understandings, the history. You know, again, we've built history together. Like, think about how amazing that is. How many 4-year-old companies can sit back on a day like this and point to 4 years of amazing history together? And we've got a Zoom full of thousands of people here that got to have a nostalgic moment looking back. Hey, I was at that event, or I was there. Hey, I'm in the video, you know, or I remember being there. I remember being in 2022. I remember what that felt like. I remember what 2023 felt like. And I think those are the things that I really underestimated. And that is very impactful. It's very empowering. It is why this company will ultimately exceed all of the expectations I did have. And I've realigned my goals, right? When I think about how big this was going to be, how many lives we could impact, like, I knew we would grow fast. I knew we would be successful, but I framed that based on the success that those who came before us had achieved. And now what I've realized 4 years in is we're going to destroy all of whatever they built before, from a growth standpoint, from a success standpoint, from an impact standpoint. And so the meters and the goals and the numbers that I would have judged us by 4 years ago are all off the table now, because the community we've built, the culture we've built, the history that we have built together is unmatched and unstoppable. And so any limits that I think I envisioned on how big this could get, how many lives it could impact, how many consumers we could help, how many agents could come together on this platform, all bets are off, man. We're gonna do so much more, I think, than what we ever set out to do. And it's not because of anything we did. It's because of the power of the community and all the amazing agents who have joined us and who show up for this Zoom every Monday and who get excited for Mondays because of this Zoom, and who embrace the tools and embrace each other, you know, embrace this idea of becoming the mountain, helping the next you, helping the next entrepreneur on their climb once you've mastered the climb yourself. Those are the things that I'm most proud of. And so as we look to 2026 and we think about what we're going to focus on, the transaction growth, the agent count growth, like, those are going to happen, right? We did the hard work. We've built the right platform. We have the right people here. We have belief. We have everything we need for that. And so now we have to turn our focus to, how do we help build the intangibles? How do we help strengthen the bonds? How do we help carry that next person up? How do we help carry that person up who has aspirations, you know, to double their business, triple their business, or has aspirations to build a team, or has aspirations to be the number one, you know, individual agent in their market? Those are the things that I now look to and I'm so excited about. And it's nice. It's kind of freeing to know that we've done everything else, right? We've we've laid that strong foundation. You've heard me talk a lot about how I think we're still in preseason. These first 4 years of LPT was really preseason. For us, the season starts sometime next year. And I can't wait for that starting line. I can't wait for that starting gun to go off. But it's nice to know that as we make that transition, as we shift into the regular season, that our foundation is so strong, we can now focus on the intangibles. We can focus on the why, right? The internal, the impact above just the numbers and the growth and everything else. And so I'm really excited, man. I feel blessed. I don't think I could be in a better position. I feel blessed to have all of you in my extended family at LPT. And it's 2026, man. Watch out. We're coming.
And one thing that I want to kind of highlight, something that you've said, is if you think about when you're setting your goals, right? If you go out to say, hey, from day number one, I want to build a massive brokerage that's going to be the most valuable brokerage in the world, it's too big of a thought, right? But if you say, hey, I want to go out there, I want to change entrepreneurs' lives, I want to make it easier for them to succeed, I want to help the next me come along, and if you do that well enough, the result is that you're going to have the biggest brokerage. The result is that you're going to have all these wins. The result is you're going to be the second fastest, brokerage or company, in the Deloitte Fast 500. We didn't set out to go do those things, but that was a byproduct of us focusing on helping entrepreneurs win. And so as you're thinking about your goals for 2026, I would say instead of thinking about how many houses you want to sell, think about what behaviors get you there. Think about what impact gets you there. And that's ultimately what is going to get you through that impossible idea to swallow. Because from going from where we had zero logo to where we are today is a really, really big thought to try to hang on to. But if you just put one foot in front of the other and say, how do I help entrepreneurs win? How do I make it a little bit easier? How do I give them a little more motivation? That is what helps you achieve that big vision. It starts from the top down. And so I appreciate your leadership and your thought process on how that works for you as well too. But we are in the final moments of Motivational Monday, of the final one of the year. So kind of want to kick it over to you for our final thoughts of 2025 and what we should think about going into 2026.
Yeah, we got a couple days left. One, I want everybody to stay safe out there, right? Obviously, New Year's Eve, a lot of people out having fun. A lot of people go to New Year's Eve parties and things. I want you all to be safe, stay safe. I hope everybody's had a great couple of weeks here in the holidays and is recharged and ready to roll. It's not too late to put the work in. Get out there and hold that last minute open house. Get out there and check on your sphere. Like it's not too late to take some activity and then be ready. Get committed. Like 2026, like the boom is coming next year. We're gonna move from preseason to regular season as a company as the boom comes, because we're gonna get off of this 4 million annualized home sales, doomsday scenario that we've been riding as a company since we launched. And again, just I look back, I'm so proud. Deloitte Fast 500, faster than any other real estate brokerage who's ever qualified for the Deloitte Fast 500. You can go look it up. Other cloud brokerages have qualified, didn't grow as fast as us. Other cloud brokerages qualified this year, didn't grow as fast as us. Like, we really have shown that we have the ability to grow faster than everyone else, and that's a nice box to check, and it's a nice box to get out of the way. And we're going to keep growing fast, but again, we're going to focus on impact in 2026. We're going to focus on being in position and ready for the boom. Because look, when annualized home sales go from 4 million to 4.8, if that's what happens, and again, that's kind of where I think we're going to be, that's a big jump. Like that in itself is a big boost, and it requires a shift. We're going to be having different conversations on Motivation Monday. We're going to be focused on different things inside of the brokerage, different types of tools. And so our commitment to you is to be nimble, to be strategic, to be here to support each and every one of you as we go into this year and to many more New Year's together. So stay safe out there, stay focused. We'll see you back on the first Motivation Monday of 2026, 1 week from today. We hope everybody will join us, and let's set big goals. Let's dream big. Let's stay committed. Let's help the next entrepreneur. I'm here to help all of you. You're here to help the next entrepreneur following you. And that's the formula for success. And we get that right, which we've been getting right. We just keep growing and winning. So make it a great end of year. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys